As you know, Christmas is my favorite time of year. I also know it is a lot of your favorite time of year. That's why I'm inviting you along this year as I'm getting ready for my Christmas party, and I'm doing as much as I can ahead to make sure that the day of the party is stress-free. Today we're making a sticky date cake. It's really delicious, and as a bonus, it can be made up to a week before the party. Just put it in the freezer at a certain point, and then pull it out the day of, and you're ready to go. This is a great cake, and it's one of my grandma's old recipes, but I've updated it with a little bit of a boozy sauce at the end. But I know she'd approve because it is amazing. Let's get started. To start, I just like to toast my pecans. I always toast my nuts before I use them in a recipe because even though they're gonna go into a cake and bake, they're not gonna toast in that cake, they're just gonna bake. So first, let's get them really flavorful. Just put them evenly onto a baking pan and right into a preheated oven. After about 8 to 10 minutes, they're gonna smell really fragrant. Just pull them out, let them cool slightly, then put them onto a cutting board, chop them up, put them in a bowl, and set them aside. Try not to eat all of them, but just to let you know, I always make extra so I can snack on them the whole time I'm making a cake. I love them. For the cake, start with some room temperature butter and dark brown sugar. We're using dark brown because we want the most flavor we can, and this is gonna give it to you. Cream those together until they're really well combined. It's gonna be about 3 minutes. That's right, make sure to time it because it makes a difference. It will start sticking to the sides of the bowl. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and then add your eggs. Mix those in until they're well combined, and then add applesauce. That's right, we're adding applesauce. No, it's not because it's a health food. I know a lot of times, like back in the 70s and 80s, people kind of put applesauce in instead of extra butter or oil, thinking it was really gonna be healthy. No, this is for flavor, and it makes an extremely moist cake. It's Christmas. We don't think about health, right? I mean, do, but it's Christmas, so go all out. Add the vanilla, and mix that together till it's combined. I like to sift my dry ingredients. I just put a colander on top of a piece of parchment paper and then throw all my dry ingredients right into it. Flour, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, and cloves. Seriously, with those spices, you know this is going to taste like Christmas. Some baking soda, and salt. Just sift that through the colander right onto that parchment paper. Pour it right into the mixer, and then mix it till it's just combined and no dry streaks remain. I'm putting dates in this, and as a little tip, they can sometimes be a little bit sticky or hard to cut. So before I make the cake, I always pull out that pit that's in the date and any stem if it has it, put them onto a little baking sheet and throw them into the freezer. They just chop up better when they're frozen. Chop up the dates, pretty fine, but some chunks are totally okay. And if they're still sticky for you, just spray your knife on both sides with some nonstick baking spray. It's a world of difference. Throw those into the batter and the prepared nuts. Mix that together, and usually I'd put this either into like 2 round baking dishes or 1 big baking pan. For this, I want it to be for a party and really easy just to grab and go and enjoy. I'm putting into individual servings, so ramekins. Just put them onto a baking sheet, that way it's easier to hold them all together and put them into the oven and spray each one with nonstick baking spray. Use an ice cream scoop or just a spatula and evenly distribute the batter into each ramekin. Put it right into that preheated oven and let them bake. These are gonna puff up slightly, get a little bit golden, and to test if they're done, just stick a skewer in the middle, and when it comes out pretty much clean, you know they're done. Once you pull them out of the oven, at this point you could let them cool down completely, put saran wrap over them, airtight container, and place them in the freezer for up to 1 week. The day of the party, you just need to pull them out in the morning, let them come up to room temperature, and then make the sauce. Or if you want to serve them fresh, just once you pull them out of the oven, make the boozy sauce. Did I mention that this has a boozy sauce? Yeah, it's delicious. And it's not overly boozy, but you could totally leave the cognac out, but why would you? It's Christmas. It's so good. In a small kettle, put some dark brown sugar. Again, flavor. Some clear syrup and orange juice. Mix that together over medium-high heat. Once it comes to a boil, let it boil for about 5 minutes. That's gonna make sure the sugar dissolves and it reduces just slightly. It'll get really syrupy and beautiful and delicious. Pull it off the heat, add some room temperature butter, cognac, that's the booziness, vanilla, salt, and orange zest. That's just really gonna add a nice pop of bright flavor and really wake everything up. Stir it together until the butter is dissolved. If you just made your cakes and they're still warm, that's perfect. If you made your cakes ahead and they were frozen, make sure they're at room temperature and then pop them into about a 200-degree oven for 15 minutes just to make sure they're warmed through. Pull them out and then poke them all over with a skewer. Pour the prepared sauce right into a glass measuring cup with a spout and slowly drizzle it on each cake. Now, if you just dump it on right away and too much of it, it's gonna drizzle over the sides. And yeah, while it doesn't really matter, it's gonna be a sticky mess for someone to pick up and eat. So just slowly drizzle a little bit on, maybe like a tablespoon at a time, and then go back and do it again. You don't have to use up all the sauce, but the more sauce you use, the more decadent and moist and delicious these cakes will be. But usually about 1 cup of the sauce for 8 of these cakes is perfect. Once they are prepared, they are ready to serve, and I think they're best warm. Dollop just a little bit of whipped cream on top and you are good to go. These are so good, you guys, and I can't wait for you to try them. The booziness really adds that Christmas flair, especially with the addition of that orange zest. I don't know what else screams Christmas. I know my grandma would love these and I can't wait for you to try them. If you agree, make sure to click like and subscribe to the Gray Boxwood channel and stick around because all season long I'm sharing my favorite tips and tricks for my Christmas party, hoping that you can do the same so you can have a make-ahead party like I am and have no stress.